Welcome to today's class. Today we will be dealing with methodology, axiology, and the four types of paradigms which have been discovered by Lincoln and Goba. So, let us start with methodology. Now, methodology refers to the overall research and design which is used to investigate the reality, right? It is not the same as method. Method refers to the specific techniques which are being used to find out the reality. For example, the methodology is quantitative or qualitative, and the methods are, for example, if the methodology is quantitative, then the methods are experiments, surveys, statistical analysis, hypothesis testing, right? But if the methodology is qualitative, then the methods used are interviews, case studies, thematic analysis, narrative analysis, right, discourse analysis. So these are the methods which are used. So now this methodology, it depends upon the ontology and epistemology of the research. For example, if we have finalized that the ontology of the research will be realist, then we have to follow quantitative methodology, right? Because if the ontology is realist, that means the epistemology is objectivist or positivist, and thus depending upon this too, the methodology will be quantitative. But if the ontology is relativist, then and the epistemology is subjectivist, then the methodology will be qualitative. So this is how methodology depends upon what ontology we have chosen and what epistemology has been chosen. Now let us understand what is axiology. Axiology was the fourth component which was introduced at last by Lincoln and Goba in the theory. So it refers to the role of the values and ethics in research. So while we are conducting any research, it is very important to take informed consent from the subject. It is very important to maintain privacy and confidentiality of the matters which have been collected during the research, of the data which has been collected during the research. So now axiology defines should a research be value free, value neutral, or it should be value laden, value bound, right? So value free position, where do we prefer? Value free position we prefer when the research that is being undertaken is objective in nature, that is the ontology is realist, where the perception of the people is not taken into consideration. So at that position we have that we have that liberty to have a value free axiology, right? So it is associated with positivism. Now value laden, where should we have value laden approach or value laden axiology? When the ontology is relativist, where we consider that there are multiple realities where the knowledge is co-created or the knowledge is constructed. In that cases, there exists a relationship between the knowledge and the observer. There exists interaction. So all those things should be guided by certain values. So it is value laden position, right? So now we have understood in detail what is ontology, epistemology, methodology, and axiology. Now let us look at the four types of paradigms which have been suggested by Lincoln and Goba, that is positivism, post-positivism, constructionism, and interpretivism. Let us start with positivism. What is positivism? Positivism, you have to understand that the ontology is realist. It assumes that there is a single stable reality which exists independently of human perception, right? And then how is the knowledge, the knowledge is acquired? The knowledge is acquired objectively through observation, measurement, right? Knowledge is not created, knowledge is just absorbed, and thus it is the stable reality which is there. It is governed by universal laws, right? Knowledge also depends upon empirical evidence here, right? In this case, there is no relationship between the observer and the knowledge, and the researcher also remains detached and value neutral and neutral, ensuring why is the researcher detached, why it is independent of human perception? Because what we want the ontology to be objective, right? So thus there's no relationship. Now, so in this, if we have already known that if the ontology is realist and the knowledge is acquired objectively, then we use which type of methodology? We use quantitative methodology. Quantitative methodology mein what are the quantitative methods? Surveys, experiments, statistical analysis. So these are the methods which are used. Hypothesis testing as well. And then why is this why is this research created, or why is this research done? So that it guides in prediction and control, right? And based upon the theory of positivism, the school of behaviorism has started in psychometrics. So it has influenced behaviorism, the school. See, how do we know that? See, because behaviorism is the school of behaviorism is based upon the belief that, or assumption that, behavior is observed, right? So observed जहाँ पे आ जाता है, that is what? That is your positivism, right? Because epistemology of positivism is that behavior is objective and it is just observed. So behaviorism is guided by positivism. Psychometric test, the pen and paper test that we do, that is also guided by your positivism, right? So it does not take into consideration, so it takes in positivism takes into consideration only the observable, measurable constructs, and it rejects metaphysical and unobservable explanations, right? Now let us look at post-positivism. What is post-positivism? Post-positivism is a refinement of positivism. It is the modification of positivism. What did positivism believe, और क्या refine हुआ है? देखो, positivism believed that there is a single stable reality and the knowledge is certain. But here it says that no, knowledge or the reality can never be known with complete certainty. Right? So that is why the realism which is followed here is critical realism. Critical realism means knowledge can never be known with complete certainty, right? Then next is about knowledge. Knowledge is always provisional and probabilistic. It also acknowledges that researchers can be fallible, they can be influenced by bias, so it tries to minimize the bias. Thus, what is post-positivism? It seeks approximate truth. What does positivism seek? It seeks absolute truth. So this is again a difference. And how it is done, what are the methods used? Triangulation, falsification. So these rigorous methods are used. And then see, these all methods, because it is based on realism, right? Critical realism. So quantitative methods are dominant, but still it accepts mixed methods. Mixed methods are still accepted, right? So what are the points that we have know about post-positivism? It is that it is a refinement or modification of positivism. Reality, it is based on critical realism. Critical realism means reality exists independently and it can never be known with a lot of certainty. What do we know about knowledge? That knowledge is probabilistic, it's provisional, it is not certain. The truth or knowledge, what we can say, we do not look for absolute truth, just like it is done in positivism, but we look for approximate truth. Methods, quantitative methods are dominant, but mixed methods are also used. What are those? They are triangulation, falsification, and other rigorous methods are used. Bias, it acknowledges that in researchers are fallible and they can bias, and thus it tries to minimize the bias, so in order to enhance or increase the objectivity, right? So this is all about post-positivism. Now let us look at what is constructionism. Constructionism it is completely different. It is based on relativism ontology, that reality is not fixed, it's not stable, rather reality exists in multiple formats. There are multiple realities, and thus how will be the epistemology? Epistemology will be subjectivist. Epistemology may knowledge, it believes that knowledge is not simply absorbed, it is co-created, it is constructed. How? Through interaction, language, shared meanings, right? Culture and all, it takes into and shared meanings, right? So knowledge, so there is a relationship that exists between the researcher and the observer and the knowledge. There exists a relationship, right? The reality is also dependent upon human perception here. So reality is shaped by social processes. So now how will be the methodology? The methodology will be subjective. So what are the methods that will be used? Like interviews, narrative analysis, discourse analysis, thematic analysis. So all these are preferred. As it takes into consideration human perception, as it takes into consideration different viewpoints, thus it has to be value laden, right? It has to be value laden, and it should be guided by ethics and values in research. So constructionism, it influences which types of psychology? It influences how cultural psychology, feminist psychology, narrative psychology takes place, right? So how meaning making is done by social structures, language, all these things are taken into consideration in constructionism. Now let us look at interpretivism. Interpretivism, it is slightly different than the positivism, post-positivism and constructionism. See, in positivism and post-positivism, knowledge is just observed, and in constructionism, knowledge is co-created or constructed. But in interpretivism, knowledge is just interpreted. It is not discovered, not created, not constructed, only and only interpreted, right? So it believes that humans, depending upon their experience, they interpret the same experience in different ways, right? Depending upon the context, they have interpret the same experience can be interpreted in different ways, right? So it assumes that reality is what it is, context dependent, right? And the subjective experiences of the other people, here we are not trying to construct a meaning of the subjective experiences. जैसे हम constructionism में क्या कर रहे थे, जो भी experience हो रहा है, subjective experience, researcher and the participant, they all were they're trying to co-create a meaning of that, right? वो भी meaning making है, ये भी meaning making है, but उसमें meaning making is co-created, it's constructed, where the researcher is also part of it. But here what is the thing? Here the researcher is simply trying to interpret the subjective experiences of the other people, right? So it does not believe in prediction, right? What is the purpose of this? It does not predict as it is done in positivism, right? Or it does not help to set up universal laws as it is done in positivism. So what is the purpose? It is deep understanding, right? Deep understanding means verstehen. So the researcher actively interacts with the participants to interpret their lived experience. So what are the methodology used? Qualitative methodologies are used, such as case studies, ethnography, phenomenology. So all these are used, and it has to be value bound, because somewhere or the other it takes into consideration subjective experiences. So जहाँ पे भी subjective आएगा, तो it has to be value laden, right? सो इंटरप्रेटिविज्म हम कहाँ देखते हैं? ह्यूमनिस्टिक साइकोलॉजी में हम क्या करते हैं? वी फोकस ऑन मीनिंग मेकिंग, राइट? वी हेल्प द क्लाइंट टू interpret their own subjective experiences, like that is done in humanistic psychology. So it is based on interpretivism. फेनोमेनोलॉजिकल स्टडीज़, क्वालिटेटिव क्लिनिकल रिसर्च, ठीक है, जहाँ पे भी मीनिंग मेकिंग है, पर्सनल मीनिंग मेकिंग, सिंपली मेजरमेंट नहीं है, सिंपली ऑब्जर्वेशन नहीं है, जहाँ पे मीनिंग मेकिंग है, डिपेंड्स अपॉन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट, सो वहाँ पे इट इज़ इंटरप्रेटिविज्म, राइट? So now let us just go into just have a brief glance of all the four and compare it. So positivism में reality is objective, measured scientifically, realist ontology मतलब single stable reality, independent of observer, independent of human perception, epistemology objectivist, researcher remains detached, no relationship, knowledge is gained through observation, methodology में quantitative methods such as surveys, experiments, statistical analysis, hypothesis testing, and it is value free because it is objective and it is used for verification, prediction, control, right? And behaviorism, school of psychology, psychometrics, experimental research is influenced by positivism. Those are all positivists. Post-positivism is a refinement or modification of positivism, which believes that reality is single, stable, but it cannot be known with absolute certainty. Knowledge is, so it is critical realism. And epistemology is modified objectivism. Researcher tries to be objective, but also at the same time acknowledges that the researchers can be fallible, influenced by bias, so we have to minimize the bias. Then the key features are that knowledge is probabilistic, provisional, not certain, And then approximate truth we find out, not absolute truth. Methods used, triangulation, theory testing, evidence-based practice, and falsification. And it has influenced modern experimental psychology and evidence-based practice. Constructionism, it believes that reality is socially constructed. How? Through interaction. So it is relativist ontology, that multiple realities exist. Epistemology is subjective, that knowledge is co-created, knowledge is constructed through interaction. The methodology is qualitative, and the methods used are interviews, narrative analysis, discourse analysis, thematic analysis. All these things are used. Axiology, when subjective experiences are taken into consideration, it has to be value laden. Researcher acknowledges influence. Language shapes the reality. So language, role of language comes in because interaction होता है. Interaction के लिए क्या चाहिए? Language चाहिए. So अगर interaction है मतलब language भी है और वो influence करता है the reality. The meaning depends upon culture. अगर subjective है तो उसका culture भी तो influence होगा. ठीक है, culture से भी तो influence होगा, right? No universal truth. Universal truth से positivism, post-positivism मतलब basically in positivism ही है. And it influences cultural psychology, narrative psychology, and feminist psychology. And the last is interpretivism. It is related to constructionism, but it is different because it is simply interpretation, no co-creation, no construction. Social reality should be understood through subjective meanings. So ontology is relativist. It is context-dependent reality, where the researcher interacts with the participants to have a deep understanding of them, just an understanding, no creation, no construction of knowledge, simply understanding and deep understanding and interpreting. Methodology is qualitative, such as case studies, your phenomenology, ethnography, all these are used in interpretivism. Axiology is value bound, and it focuses on meaning making, context, lived experience, right? Humanistic psychology, clinical case analysis, phenomenological studies, all are influenced by interpretivism, right? So in the next class we'll be understanding what is monism, what is dualism, what is determinism, what is free will, and others. Thank you everyone for attending today's class.